Testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. Oh man, you guys have to give me a second here. I cannot tell if anybody can hear. I cannot tell if anybody can hear a single thing at all. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out. Give me 1 second here, folks. I don't know if I'm having technical difficulties. If anybody's in chat, let me know if you can hear me. For some reason, I'm not getting any. There we go. Okay. Never mind. We're good. Cool. All right. Hey, good to see everybody. All right. We're going to do a couple of quick things here. I just had a couple of thoughts on my mind that I want to talk about. Got a couple of things that I wrote down as well. Man, I'm just going to go through some questions that some students have asked me this week and some situations and some things that I've come across. And who knows, this may become a regular standard thing. It may be just every once in a while. It may be consistent. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, let's dive right into the topics that I've got for us. Hey, I'm Josh. This is Music Lesson. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Everybody out there on the internet. This may go back up and stay recorded and posted on the YouTube channel, and it may go onto the website after this. It depends on what kind of progress we can make here. And it won't be real long. Let's talk about violin bows, okay? I got a question from a friend of mine earlier this week, and they said, hey, Josh, should I rehair my bow, or what should I do? How do I rehair a bow? And my first question was, well, how much is your bow worth in the first place? And that's kind of like priority number one. That's the first thing you want to ask is, how much is your bow worth? Okay. If your bow is worth, I don't know, $100 to $200, oh gosh, it may not really be worth rehairing it. The process of getting a bow rehaired, the last time I did it, and again, I kind of know people, around. So it'll cost you anywhere between $60 and $100 to get a bow rehaired. So you have to really ask yourself, it's like, am I going to rehair my bow, or am I just going to buy a new bow, right? So if you're down to like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of your bow hair, well, first of all, I'm not sure that you should be playing the bow when you get down to a quarter of your bow hair. Like you get down to half, it's really time to start thinking about either rehairing it or just buying a new bow. You get some pretty decent bows. Now, mind you, when I say decent, I'm talking like, student level bows, right? And don't take that as an offense or anything. It's just, we categorize things, kind of based off of how well they respond and bows and how much their costs are. Okay. So just keep that in mind when I say this stuff. So don't worry about anything like that. Don't take offense to it. But, we kind of categorize bows. If you got a student level bow, you're looking at like $100 to $200. Really, I'd say $150 to $250 these days is kind of your price range if you're looking for a good quality student bow that's got some decent bow hair on it, that's going to respond well, like you like it. That's probably not a bad price range to look at. That's the number one thing I would say. So my first question right out of the gate is, or to him, this friend of mine was, how much is the bow worth? Does it have sentimental value, or is it just a valuable bow? Is it really good responsive bow? Every once in a while, you'll get a bow that comes out of a factory, kind of off of an assembly line type situation that it's just really good. You can get some really good bows out of, kind of, we'll call it assembly line stuff. They just churn out products, right? You can get some good bows out of there. You can get some good violins out of stuff like that. That's okay too. But just double check it. If it plays really well, if it sounds really good, if it's a violin, but it plays really well, it's a bow, you might want to go ahead and rehair that. But just know that the price range for rehairing a bow is between $60 and $100, depending where you are. Now, you could be in a location where it's more than that, or you could have yourself a really, really well-known, well-established luthier that's going to be charging you some serious money for the quality of their craftsmanship. It just depends, but it may be worth it. Maybe worth to do something with a bow that's in that price range. Now, for me, if I get a bow that's $200 or more, I'm rehairing it, and I'm probably going to do it with relative frequency. I don't like to. Well, I've got a couple of bows right now. Being completely honest, I got a couple of bows right now that could probably use some rehairing that are in that price range. But yeah, okay, yeah, don't get on me about that, but I've got them. Regardless, $200 or more, yeah, that's definitely room for rehair. That's rehair territory. And you get down to half of a bow hair left, you're going to want to go ahead and rehair that. It's not even really worth playing at that point. To me, you get some really sticky rosin and you can still get some decent sounds out of it. But to me, it's just not even worth rehairing at that point. I'm sorry, not even worth playing at that point. It is worth rehairing if it's above $200. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that. So should you rehair your bow? Should you not rehair your bow? Is your bow worth more than $150 to $200? If it is, consider rehairing it. If you got a really good bow out of the assembly line and it just plays super well, it's light, it's not too heavy, even if it's glass, fiberglass, I mean, okay, yeah, don't attack me, don't attack me for that, but I've played some, they were decent. Would I personally buy one? No, but I'm in a different place than most folks are, right? This is what I do for a living, so take that for what it is. And don't be upset about yourself if you find a decent one in your price range. The important thing is just to play the instrument, right? Just get down and play the instrument. That's what it's about. And actually, with that in mind, let me go ahead and shuffle up our topics. And you're talking about playing the instrument. Let's just go practicing. One thing that I really want to address, and I want to kind of keep this at the forefront of everybody's thought process, is I love using YouTube. YouTube is great. YouTube's got but for a specific reason. YouTube is like a pocket of YouTube operates in pockets or outposts, right? And there's like the way the algorithm works, it like connects you to different places, different things, different times. That's cool, right? That's fine. But the reality of YouTube is that if you don't really know what you're looking for, or you don't know where you should be going, you can have a map, but it's like, I don't know where I should be going next. How do I get from this place to this place to this place? And that's kind of, maybe the map analogy wasn't the best, but you get what I'm saying, right? So that's kind of what it's all about. But anyway, YouTube has this feature where you can use YouTube speed settings, right? So you go to a video and you click that little cogwheel. And I don't know, like, I don't have any Apple products right now, so I don't really know how this works on the the iPhone or the iPad, or I'm sorry, not iPad, iMac or whatever, the laptop or the computer. I'm sure you just use your cursor and, the cogwheel pops up, or the ... or whatever, that's 3 dots or whatever. You go to the YouTube speed settings and you just scroll down. It's usually in the settings. For us on Android, it's on the cogwheel, right? So you just go on there, or PC as well. And you just go down there, go to YouTube speed settings, and you go to speed settings, and you can make it faster or you can make it slower, right? So if you want to give yourself a challenge, you go a little faster with it, but usually you can slow down. You start at 1.0, which is standard speed. You can go to 0.75, then you go to 0.5, and then 0.25. Now, the only thing you got to be careful about is that if the original recording is like quite old, or just the recording quality wasn't fantastic, for whatever reason, you could get some, I don't know what you call it, like separation of the audio. The audio starts to sound a little like raspy or disconnected or something like that. And it's kind of hard to follow. But if it's a good quality audio, and even if you drop it to like 0.75 speed, you're probably going to be fine. Like, I've dropped some tracks that were recorded back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. You started to get a little bit better recording quality as far as what you can achieve with the speed settings. But you still have to worry about the quality of the recording a little bit. But yeah, drop it to 0.75 speed. I haven't really had any problems with 0.75 speed on just about any track that I've tried to play. Okay, maybe pre-50s, the quality of the audio starts to go down pretty bad no matter what, even if it's been remastered. So yeah, you're going to run into a couple of problems with that if you're going to drop it to 0.75 or 0.5. Yeah, you're starting to get grainy, like the audio sound equivalent of grainy, right? So yeah, that's what I would caution you about. But anything 80s and newer, you're pretty good, right? 0.75 speed is going to work. 0.5 speed is also going to work, but just know that you'll get that audio equivalent of grainy start happening there a little bit sooner. I wish there were some intermediate settings there, 0.6, 0.65, whatever, right? But that's not the case on it right now. But hey, we take what we can get. Really nice resource. Use it to your advantage. Slow the track down with the YouTube speed settings and use it to play your instrument, violin, guitar, bass guitar, drums, whatever, voice, piano, and learn. And sometimes it's good to just listen, And I don't mean like passive listening. I mean like sitting down. Maybe you've got the sheet music. I've got my stand with my sheet music right here. Maybe you've got some sheet music in front of you. Sit down and just go through that sheet music, right? Just look at it, right? And while you listen, and if you know the song well enough, you can follow along on the sheet music and just really absorb what you're visually seeing and what you're hearing orally with your ears. Okay. And I think it can really help you out. That's one great tip that I love about YouTube and one thing that I tell my students to do all the time. So check that out when you get a chance. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's back up just a little bit. Summertime. Yes, we are closing in on summertime here, but you know what? It's still going to be around a little bit longer in my neck of the woods, as they say. So yeah, we've definitely, I don't know, in my neck of the woods, you know, we, instead of doing the groundhog, how many more weeks of summer do we have it? I'm sorry, winter do we have? It's, you know, let's take a look at the gator and see how many more weeks of summer we're going to have. But anyways, we have to deal with a lot of humidity and stuff around here. That's another topic for another day. But yeah, summertime gigs are here. In my neck of the woods, we have this weather pattern where you never know what's going to pop up and rain, right? So I was out the other day, I was performing, and we set up. We even had a tent. We had a, you know, thing over us to protect us. Got all of our equipment out there, and 10 minutes in, I'm telling you, we did two songs, and the heavens opened up, and the floodgates commenced. And when I tell you it was a deluge, it was a downpour, friend, it was a deluge. Yeah, we got rained out hardcore, and it rained for a while. Nothing on the radar, nothing was on the weather. We checked it, everything was all good, no problems. And hey, that's just the way weather goes, you know, it happens. So yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, that's my suggestion to you is, and this is going to sound ridiculous, bring some trash bags. So if you've got gear, if you've got equipment, I would say first things first, make sure not to put it directly on the ground, especially if you have electronics that you're worried about, and put them on top of something or put them on like a trash bag. Like I got a pedal board for my guitar, put it on a trash bag or something like that. And I think that'll work out for you pretty well. Okay. The next thing is, oh yeah. Okay. So we'll wrap this up. All right. What is my favorite Prince song? What is your favorite Prince song? Do you know? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You know what? I don't need that anymore. Let's take that out of there. I always go back and forth on this, but I think honestly, my favorite Prince song is probably Raspberry Beret. I know it's not exactly the song that everybody thinks about when they think about Prince, but there's just something about the way the orchestration goes and the way he plays the instruments. I don't know, man. It's got some really cool soul. It's got some really cool grooves, and you know, it's just a mood. It's a total vibe. Raspberry Beret. And I just really like watching it. Now, the music video is borderline psychedelic trip material. So just keep that in mind when you're watching it. But the song is just really good. Now the topic is what it is. You know, it's Prince, right? He writes about what he writes about, and that's one thing. But the groove on that song is just cool, man. It's like Prince has a lot of great songs. Prince has a lot of really cool songs, but the groove in that song is pretty neat. It's not the same vein as Misty Mountain Hop by Led Zeppelin, but it gives me the same feeling because it's got a groove. It's got a vibe. But Prince has some really, really cool melodies and some really cool harmonies in the way they work together. And it's one that I highly recommend. So if you're not familiar with Raspberry Beret, check it out. Hey, you may like it. You may not like it. Let me know. You know, after this is done, go watch it, go listen to it, and just sit down and maybe just listen to it and then come back and tell me if you liked it or not. All right. Hey, thanks for stopping in today. If you watch this, I may leave this up for a little while, you know, just to help some people, give them some tips and stuff like that. May do more of these live streams. We'll see. But yeah, just wanted to say hi to everybody and check in with all y'all and see how you were doing. All right. All right. Hey, thank you for stopping in today. Don't forget, if you find anything useful for what we're doing, if you enjoyed what we do, either today or another day, please go to www.muselesson.com. And if you like what we did, support us at www.muselesson.com/shop. Check that out for us. That's our website. That's what we do. and a lot of our guides and a lot of our reviews and stuff like that go up on that website right there. And yeah, subscribe to this, like it, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to shut this down. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.